agenda as well, right?
Yep.
Okay, thank you.
You're all set to go.
Okay, beautiful. Welcome, everyone. We're going to call the meeting to order. It's, I don't know what time. We'll call it 6:30. Hopefully, pretty soon we won't be having to do this on Zoom anymore. Next item on the agenda. If somebody would.
Roll call.
Okay. Roll call. Susan, you want to do the roll call, please?
I will. Robert Blank.
He's listening through NCTV, so he's sort of there. Yeah.
Okay. Walter Bordeaux.
Here.
Kathleen Marie Clark.
Here.
Bill DeMayo.
Excused.
Okay. Melanie DePamphilis. Here. Joe Dubin.
Here.
Diane Durant.
Here.
Michael Fox.
He's here.
Here.
Eileen Francolino.
Here.
I'm here. Gail Kelly. Anna Kubish.
Here.
Kathy Mickett-Piambo. Geraldine Nagel. Allison Mankey. Nancy Mankey.
Here.
Kathleen Sullivan. Tom Tallard. Max Turgeon.
Here.
Maxwell, hello.
Hello.
Okay, we have a quorum, correct?
I just joined too. This is Allison Mankey.
Hello
Okay,
there,
thank
dear.
you,
How are
Allison. Yeah, we have a
Okay.
quorum.
Beautiful. Has anybody read minutes from the February meeting?
I don't think I did the minutes from the February meeting. I'll have all the minutes for the next meeting.
Okay, so moving on. We're not going to approve anything because we haven't seen them. Okay. Number 4, within the Zoom application, raise hand if you would like to participate in public participation. Is there anybody here from the public?
I don't see anyone.
I don't either. I'm just looking at our list here. Nope. Okay, we're good. Okay, we have no remarks from the committee on public participation because there is none. Okay, consideration of old business, fundraising, Karma's Closet. I did bring some other things down there. They seem to be selling a little bit at a time, but whatever. It's great. It's a great thing that she's doing for us and we appreciate her help. I think what we don't sell, perhaps we can set up a table somewhere on the History Day and sell some of our merchandise. We don't have a ton left of certain things, but whatever we can sell is a great thing. Okay, next. I think that says blood drive. Nope.
No, random acts of kindness.
Yeah, random acts of kindness is next. Maxwell, have we done anything on that?
No, I'm sorry. I missed last month. I've been working on golf, but
No.
I will get on that.
All for golfing there, buddy.
No, not golfing. Trust me. I wish.
Okay. All right. We'll keep moving on. The blood drive.
And this is Diane Durant. So I have an update on that. I did reach out to our Savior's Lutheran Church with Allison's help and got a hold of Church Council President. He's going to present the idea to host a blood drive there to the Church Council and get back to us. I also talked to the Red Cross. I learned a couple of things. One thing I learned is that the Masons have 3 blood drives scheduled, one on May 15th, one on July 17th, the extravaganza date, and one on September 25th. And she said they usually gather about 30 units or 30 pints of blood at each one of those. our goal of 150 is a pretty lofty goal, actually, to try to achieve, particularly with one blood drive. So she said the gentleman's name at the Masons, his name is Tad. I don't know if we want to attempt to reach out to them to see if, hey, how about you do the blood drive and
Yeah.
promote 150th anniversary, kind of thing.
Absolutely. Yep. I think that would be great. I don't know whether they're going to have one at the high school or not, but the high school usually gets, I think, about
Oh, she
60
took-
pints of blood.
Yeah, she told me, actually. She said, yeah, you're right on. She said 50 to 60 pints or units. And she said that's always a good draw at the high school. The one thing, Our Saviors hasn't been a site before, so they would have to do a visit if we do have it there to make sure that it is a location that they can have. You got to have about between 1,500 and 2,000 square feet to host a blood drive and so forth. So they have a few restrictions. They're only doing appointments for blood donations. So they have a whole process for that. There's no walk-ins really considered. So everyone has to make appointments ahead of time. And then there's other just logistics about how you set up and what you need. But I thought it was interesting that the Masons they just called them recently to get those scheduled. And so I can see if I can figure out who to contact at the Masons. They have a first name unless someone has a contact there.
I just
I
want
don't
to,
know anyone.
this Nancy, Our Savior's Lutheran, my husband just said, Tim Enke, he's on the committee there. They did approve to have it there if you'd like.
Oh, they did. Okay,
Oh,
Yes.
great.
Yeah.
good.
Nancy, does he think it's big enough? In terms of
Tim,
what
how
Diane,
big is it?
The basement area is pretty big.
Do you know how big the basement area
It's
is?
pretty big. I could.
Well, there's also there's a big room and then a smaller room. They could set
Exactly.
up in both.
Yeah. I mean, we
We
can
can,
always have them come out and do a visit to see.
Yeah, I can arrange it.
Yeah. I can talk to Tim Hutwagner, who is the president of the council. He can, I'll ask him what the square footage is and let you guys know.
Oh, that'd be great,
that'd
Nancy.
be
Thank you.
awesome.
Okay.
Yeah, and
So that
so,
leaves-
to reach the 150, we're gonna need multiple blood drives. She's gonna send me, the Red Cross is gonna send me quite a bit more information. I said there was no hurry. We're just still trying to figure out how we can do this, if we can do this, if we have a location. So she'll get the info to me and, like I said, some good info about the Masons there.
Yeah, that's awesome. So if they're doing May, that leaves June and August and maybe October.
Right.
I think it's really hard in the summer. I would like, if we're going to do it in June, it probably makes sense to do it early June before school gets out. But
Yeah.
I don't know if maybe they space them because they get the same people there and you can only give every so often. You know what I mean?
Exactly. You can only give every
So
59 days, I think it is.
59 days.
Yeah, every 59 days. And so we do, right? So if you do May 15th, they're doing those 3. We might want to follow after those or include what they get in our 150 count, or something like that. So.
Yep. Yeah. Well, yeah, it's easy to say that, in the past 6 months, Newington has donated 150 pints of blood. You know what I mean? Like it
Right.
doesn't have to be in one blood drive. That would be pretty cool.
Yeah,
And I
She
know
said
they
to
have
think
them up
about
at-
it. She said, think about it this way. She goes, 150. She said that when the Yard Goats had a blood drive, they collected 300. And think how big that facility is, right? So to do 150 in one day is a very lofty
Yeah.
goal that I don't think we'd be able to do. And they
No,
wouldn't
I don't
have the
think so
staff
either.
probably to support it either.
Yeah, it would definitely have to be at multiple sites if we were going to do that. You know what I mean? Did
Exactly.
the yard goats do it outside?
I don't think so. I don't know.
Yeah.
No, they have a big
A venue.
facility upstairs.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. That's pretty interesting. Well, thank you. That's a lot of good information. And we can move forward with that. That's pretty cool. I'll check at the high school. I'll email Lisa, see if she's made up her mind yet about that. Hopefully with the kids coming back to school, maybe they could think about having it. Although I don't know if they're I'm sure they test the blood anyway, because none of those kids are vaccinated, but whatever, I'm sure.
Yeah, yeah.
We'll
And
figure
she's
that
gonna
out.
they have a account manager from the Red Cross who handles Newington. So she's gonna be they're gonna be in touch with her to give her heads up that we're interested, just in case anyone happens to hear someone asking questions about us and what we're doing and
Yep,
so forth.
yep. Okay, awesome. Thank you very much. That's
You're
very
welcome.
good, interesting stuff. Okay. Next on the agenda is the mayor's ball. There's really nothing to report with that. Bill's on vacation, so he's not here. We're just kind of waiting and holding off to see what happens with COVID restrictions. There was some lifting today, so that's a step in a good direction. So hopefully by the fall, you know, Charles Brown, our health director, would open things up for us and you know, we'd be able to do it. I guess if worse comes to worse, we could do something outside, but you know, that's got to stay on hold till we can figure out what's up.
I see Gail Kelly has her hand up. I don't know if it was from the previous
Oh,
item
sorry.
or this one.
Okay, I didn't even know Gail was here. Hi, Gail. Go ahead. Gail,
Oh,
hello.
I don't think her audio is working.
She's not muted.
Yeah.
Are you there? All right, Gail. Well, if you can get yourself turned on, feel free to interrupt. It's okay. Oh, there. No, hand went down. Okay. All right. Moving on. Restock the shelves. Do we have a date for that? We were talking about this spring, right?
Well, I called, and I spoke to Carol Lebrecht. Is that the person at the, okay, I
Yeah.
spoke to her and she was going to put me in touch with another person. I haven't heard back from her yet, but
Mhm.
they suggested doing it in the summer,
Okay.
in June, because that's when the need is one of the greatest needs for them.
Yeah.
So I will call back and I will, you know, figure out what they will provide us with a list of what is most needed during that time as well.
Yes.
So
Don't want 100.
we can,
Yeah.
yeah, right, exactly.
Yeah.
So, you know, we can I'll have something more concrete for you at our next meeting.
That's beautiful. I had another thought. I don't know if we have any gardeners in our committee, but if we wanted to get a garden through Parks and Recreation, that's another way we could help restock the shelves if we grew some things and just added them as an extra, something fresh to someone's package. If that's someone, you know, if somebody's got a green thumb and is up for that. Why is the thing ringing? That'd be great, but you know, up to you guys if that's what you're into. But if we're gonna get a garden, we gotta do it soon. Okay. Dinner in the park for summer 2021. We have to put that on hold to see what's happening in the park. We don't know. Next is the historical house tour. Kathleen.
Hello, everything is going great with the historical house tour. We actually have maybe additional properties, and that's it for sure. But the lady who owns 646 Main Street, which is a gorgeous house, if anybody wants to look it up on Zillow, she contacted me when she heard, you know, that this was going to happen. And her house was like an inside tour on one of the previous anniversaries. So this would still be just outside, and it's within walking distance of 944 Main Street. So it's all going fine. I have people at each site. And so at the bottom of the falls, Joe Demers is going to be 1677 and show how pipe staves are made. It's all going to be kind of like if anybody hasn't really pictured it, it's sort of like Old Sturbridge Village, some of the sites. So anyway, so he'll be at the bottom of the falls, again, demonstrating what's a pipe stave, because it's not the same as a barrel stave, but it's kind of the same. And he's done some historical research about it, and we'll have tools, a demonstration of tools, and recreate the right kind of clothing from that era. And I also just want to report that I had contacted Mystic Seaport, the Connecticut Historical Society, Weathersfield Historical Society, the state historian, and something called Historic New England. They were just all great. I got all sorts of pictures of what people wore then, other information. It was really fun research. We're going to try to be accurate. The church is going to have 3 people and who represent people who are really there. There are 2 ministers, and most of these people are in the Baxter book. And 2 ministers served consecutively. They each served for 50 years apiece. It's the coolest thing. And so each one of them will be portrayed, and then there'll be a woman portrayed from about 1850 who's going to talk about 3 different women. So that's what's happening at the church. At the old firehouse, Chris Schroeder is going to bring 2 fire trucks. So we're going to have fire trucks, and also all of his volunteers are going to be wearing the red outfits with the brass buttons. Jerry Nagel and her tenant are going to present something there. Is that everything? The library, I'm going to say, when you say it's up in the air, the library, I originally, they're going to do the storyboard, but I sent them another email checking on how things are going and when was the storyboard going to go up. Haven't heard back from them. The Friends of the Library, they sounded like they were interested in taking on the something outside of the library part of things. They said they discussed it at their last meeting. I emailed them earlier this week, and they did indeed discuss it. I don't think there's anything concrete, but I'm going to leave it up to them because anyway, I don't want to be doing some competing effort. So I think those are all of my locations, and the Historical Society has also signed on, and they're going to have a display at the Historical Society, and everything is outside, everything is masked except the presenters. I'm going to contact the highway department, and we're going to get the orange cones and put them in a, semicircle 10 feet away from the participants, and we do not want to have the people coming. The other thing is that I talked to Megan Mankey. This was Chris Schroeder's suggestion about activating the CERT team to help us. And I've spoken to Megan Mankey. We don't have an official hide there activated, but what they would end up doing is, number one, if they're not available, I'm going to need some of you guys because I need somebody at each site, but I suspect CERT would be happy to do it. Plus they're very visible. They're there in their yellow, their yellow outfits. I need someone to be the COVID police. I mean that in the nicest way at each event to kind of say, can you maintain distancing and make sure people are wearing masks? The other suggestion by Chris Schroeder was just to have them at the intersections that people have to cross. I mean, they're not going to take them by the arm, but just to encourage safety at the intersections. I think that might be, and the other, working with Gail Bedraco, also she's volunteered to help me on the day of the event for some time now, but she and I are both fully vaccinated, and we both feel comfortable sitting at a table and selling our stuff. But I think we should order more t-shirts, because I think people would buy t-shirts at, number one, at the site, and also I guess at Karma's Closet. But I do think that selling what we already have, but I think people want t-shirts. So I'm going to throw that out at you rather than just have a few leftover things with us sitting at the table. The table would also have maps and you name it.
We have way more than a few leftover things. We have quite a few things that are.
I understand that, but I thought we didn't have sizes for most average people.
Yeah, well, probably not, because
don't-
I think average, according to Deanna, was like large or extra large. So I'll count again. I did send an inventory not too long ago. And I'll look back at that. I'm just not sure. We could sell what we have and order the rest and mail them to people. That's the other option, if we could get them out that way. There was a question from Robert Blank. He's doing the NCTV thing and I think he's muted. He was wondering if there was a possibility or if we should include a farm on the History Day, whether it be Deming Young or Eddie or something like that. I don't know how much bigger you want this event to be.
I think we're maxed out. Number one, every it's supposed to be, excuse me, walkable.
Yeah,
So, and actually, in the beginning, we talked about including Deming Young Farm if someone wanted to hop in their car and go visit Deming Young Farm in the same day. But if someone else wants to tackle involving the farms, I'll say, come and talk to me, but I'm not going to add it. For one thing, as I said, everything is completely walkable the way it is right now. Historical Society would be a hike for me, but other people could do it. Also, I want to look at parking. Historical Society has offered their parking lot. If someone wants to start there and park there, they specifically offered it, but I'll double check. I just want to make sure, you know, I mean, is the senior center an okay place to park? Is the library parking lot an okay? I assume they're town properties. I don't know how many people are going to drive from one place to another. I think the biggest place that's an issue is the where the houses are. I think people are going to have to park in the street. So ideally, when I do further publicity, I'm going to encourage people who visit the downtown properties, the firehouse and the two houses, to park in Constitution Square and walk from there. And, you know, if anyone asks about it, obviously it's not really handicapped accessible. If someone's in a wheelchair, they could be pulled up. But I mean, there's lawns and it's an outdoor activity. And I think that's a bit problematic, but I can't fix that. So all those things are great things to add, but I think at this point in time, we just about have enough for people to go from one place to another. And I even wondered if I think 2 things have been added since I did the walk around and decided it would take 2 hours.
yeah.
I think we may even want to expand, especially if we kind of get a handle on people seem interested in it. If we want to go back to the original 12 to 4. So, because we wanted to make sure people are available till 4 for cleanup. And let's say somebody's running late and, you know, it's like, no, don't close it down. So anyway, so that's the thought. Yep, those farms would be really interesting, but they're not really the concept of this, which is a walking tour.
Okay. The house that you just added on Main Street, is that down by Dowd Street? Down the base of Dowd Street?
No, it's the corner of Main and Kirkland.
Main and Kirkland.
It's an
I'll have to
absolute,
look.
it's kind of across from the meat center.
Yeah, there's another nice one down down the bottom of Dowd Street that's set way back. It's white with big pillars. That's the one that sticks out in my head, but I'll take a look. And the other thing that we hadn't talked about was I know between the History Day and I didn't put the historical houses up yet because I didn't know if we were going to run a contest or what we wanted to do with that. Maybe get a punch card. I don't know. I mean, I like the idea of a punch card, but then somebody's got to touch the punch card, and I don't know how people feel about that. But you know, it could be the first 50 people that complete the punch card win a prize or something.
I'm just going to say that isn't my project at all. I don't have anything to do with that project. That's Jerry's. And I don't think that project went any further. Jerry and I have been in touch a lot about the historical tour. In fact, Dave Nagel is going to play Mr. Kirk. Oh, Kirk. I said Kirkland. It's Kirkham. He's going to play him at that house. And there's a whole page about him in the history book. And he went to the gold rush and came back to Newington after the gold rush and built that house. So yeah, it's really, really interesting, but no, it's within walking distance. Again, Dowd, I think, would be a hike, just like, I mean, it's not really safe to go to the farm. And I think if the farm is not open for business, it's private property, sort of, you know, so I don't really think there's a way to include it. I mean, good idea.
Can I just interject?
There you are, Jerry.
Dave Gooddale is in charge of the Deming Young Farm. So why don't I just check with him? Because if somebody went to the Newington Historical Society, it's just down the street.
Well,
The
Deming
Deming
Young
Young
Farm
Farm.
not down the street from the
No,
circle.
not on the walking distance, but it's like they could drive to. If he
Pretty
wanted
far.
to do something there.
I think, Jerry, in the beginning, when we approached him, he was reluctant because of COVID. And-
Oh, okay.
And honestly, if someone's interested in, if he was interested, he should contact me at this point. Because
Okay.
you know what I mean? I'm happy to do it, but publicity is now I'm going to talk to, I'm going to start doing my pre-publicity by seeing what kind of a lead time they need about everything. And there's some interesting stories that could be written about it in advance of the situation. I'd love it to be, I think you and I talked about having that and Sangerbund as an addenda that people could do on their own. But I think if we're going to keep it part of the 12 to 3 on April 24th, at this point, I think it's just going to confuse people. If they had a parallel event going on at the same time that they wanted to run independently and on their own, I think it would be synergistic. But I think they need, at this point in time, I'd approach them and say, if you want to be part of this and part of the publicity, contact me, because I have so many calls out there where I've reached out where people aren't calling me back. At this point, I'm not going to try to start with somebody new.
Okay. So the other thing that I was going to ask you about was the costumes. I would be happy to reach out to a connection that I have for costumes that I don't think would cost us anything, other than maybe cleaning afterwards. I'm sure that we would, especially with COVID, would have to return them clean. So that would save us a lot of money. But I just need to know what you need and what size you need, and then they could look through. They have quite the extensive collection, especially period costuming.
Spend the $11,000 on.
Excuse me?
We're saving money for everything. Is it going to be spent on?
Oh, probably. You're cutting out. I think you're asking what the money is going to be spent on.
Yeah.
Probably a lot on the mayor's ball, I would imagine, is going to cost us some money. I just, if we can get the costumes to borrow them, I just don't see the point in spending the money. Like, why would we spend it if we don't have to?
Eileen,
you're going to have to spend it on size.
Eileen, I would like to, maybe you and I should talk, not during this meeting. I'd like to know what, what they have. Is it going to be appropriate? And also I need to move forward at this point and not, again, have one other person who's talking to one other person and hear back in 2 weeks as I get too close. And like the one for the church shouldn't cost anything because I think they're going to pay for it. So I think I'm going to go ahead with that one costume because the lady was happy with it. And she thought the church would pay for it. The other things with the church, the ministers, I think we're all set there. So I may just have 2 people at this point in time. And other than that, everybody, I've again been working on it. So we've come up with what we need. So nothing should cost very much. At the moment, there's the one costume that's going to cost $64 that, again, I just want to move forward with because I've already done the research and talked to the lady. And the other costume would cost $50 to rent. So that's all we got at the moment. Nothing else involves costumes.
Okay.
It'd be great. It would be great if I have a connection, but I need to be able to talk the connection now and see, do they really have, a period costume that is going to be available and that it's really free.
Yeah,
Plus the one, anyway, so as I said, I don't want something that is just kind of sort of looks historical, which I've seen that issue before, which is what happens when you try to buy some of it. You can either buy something, like I said in the letter to you, that's, $300 for real period outfit versus sort of cheesy colonial. So I really am just looking at 1 or 2 costumes to rent. If it's for free and we can get in touch with her quickly, I'm all for it, for sure.
I'll reach out to them tomorrow if you just tell me what you're looking for and the sizes, and I'm sure I will hear back tomorrow. That's not a problem.
Okay.
If I don't, I'll let you know. I thought you were talking about $500 worth of costumes, so I was like,
No,
Well,
no, no, but here's what, when I said we might need a budget of $500, the problem is that maybe I'll need 100 or 200 if I was gonna end up renting it, but I don't even think I will. But if I find anything else I need along the way, it's really hard to wait for the next meeting because our next meeting is only 3 weeks from the event. So I felt
Correct.
that if you said, okay, you can spend that between now and then without coming back to you, but I don't really have any plans to spend it unless it came up. I'm not adding any houses. Again, all I know is one, possibly two people's rentals and one purchase, but I think the church is going to pay for it.
okay, can somebody make a motion about setting a budget for the historical tour, please?
I make a motion to $100 for the budget for the historical tour.
I'm sorry, you were
I'm
cutting
sorry, I
out.
didn't hear what she said.
I didn't either. Geraldine, can you repeat, please? Because your internet is,
Yeah, I got something with my computer. I make a motion $100 for the historic tour costumes, maximum.
how much money?
500.
Okay, and that would cover for costumes and promotional materials.
Yeah, I bet I don't spend more than 200 to tell you the truth, but like I said, it's more of a
Okay,
logistical
fine.
issue.
okay, can somebody second the motion, please?
I second.
the motion.
I second.
Okay, all in favor, say aye.
I,
Anyone
Aye.
opposed? Okay, done. All right.
Great.
moving on. Okay. The Mill Pond storyboards, I've talked with James a couple times. They are unable to find the pictures, but they're still working on it, and hopefully we can get those done. And we had originally talked about maybe extending the historical tour for the kids, but with COVID and all, the logistics were just too hard. So we were thinking that if we could make the storyboards, put them up at Mill and maybe move them to the elementary schools around so the kids could take a look at them, keep them at a school for a week or something like that. So they could just check them out and see what was going on in our town. That would be kind of cool. Okay. Next on- Yes.
Question. So are you talking about your set of storyboards that you're going to make
Yes.
from the historical post? That has nothing to do with the library set of storyboards.
No,
Good,
we're not
okay.
talking a lot of things. You kidding me? Ooh, no.
Well, good.
Okay.
Okay. Like I said, I'm letting the library if they come through.
Yeah.
So are we going to have a table? Mostly because I'm working with Gail, that we have it.
Yeah. I
Okay,
will
great.
take care of that. I will take care of that part. Okay. I'll
Okay,
take care of
yay.
getting the table. All right. Perfect. Okay. Next on the agenda is Indian Hill, Maxwell.
Yes, so again, I'm sorry I missed last month, so I haven't given an update in a while, but we are on for August 24th, whatever that Tuesday is. I think it's the 24th. But yeah, so I just kind of we got a lot of time, which is good, but you want to have things set up, a month or two in advance, so not as much as it seems, but the kind of flexibility we have is that this is just like a one-time thing. It's not like the Rotary where they do it year after year and they have a certain goal they need to hit. So I kind of wanted to see what you guys thought. I think a kind of a nice thing to do would be we can do this a couple ways. We can try and just cover our costs. So what the tournament is, let me back up, is you do one team is 4 people and you play a scramble where everybody hits and they use their the best ball, and usually you charge anywhere between 125 150 a golfer, and it's to raise money for a cause. So I was thinking we don't have to make it super crazy, just enough to cover our costs and have something left over that we could use for the committee, or choose some local organization or charity to benefit, because by August, I don't know what we're going to want or need in terms of money. So I just kind of wanted to see what the committee thought about that, about, if there's any proceeds from it, where what do we want to do? That's kind of the first question I had for everyone.
How much does it cost to cover a cost versus make money? Like, what's the bottom line for just covering our costs, do you think?
Right. So I'll go over that with Wayne. To golf, and this is just ballparking. It's usually like 60 around there. 18 holes in the cart. And then whatever the dinner is, I believe Casamia charges somewhere around 30 to 35. So call it 100 to be safe. That's including dinner, like a sit down meal,
Yeah.
which I would assume we'd want to do, because it would be kind of a nice event, and Indian Hill has the capacity to space things out. Hopefully by August, we're in good shape.
Mm-hmm. And don't you usually have to have like some kind of gift or whatever?
Yeah.
I don't know what they call it, a gift bag.
Yeah.
So that would be on top of that, and a gift
Yeah, I
bag
mean,
would-
a lot of times that may be a bit of a cost, but a lot of times you can get donations for stuff like that.
Okay.
Because that doesn't have to be anything crazy, but yeah, you usually should get some kind of bag. Maybe if we, every golfer gets a sleeve of balls from us, and you can, that doesn't have to be very expensive. But I just was kind of wondering, like, kind of how we wanted to market it, if it was for, people are going to wonder what it's in support of, you know what I mean?
Well, we could say it's in support of the 150th anniversary of the town, and if we made some money, we made some money. Hopefully we can
Okay.
just do it to cover costs. I don't know. What does anybody else think?
I think we should, this is Diane Durant. I think we should make some money. I don't know if we have any plans to leave a memento at the end of the year to the town, or some sort of gift or time capsule or whatnot. We haven't talked about anything like that, but I still think we should probably make some money.
Yeah.
I agree. I agree with that. We should make money. I don't, just,
So we would say that it's in support of the 150th anniversary of the town. The high school,
exactly.
by the way,
Yes.
is, off topic, but the high school is building a time capsule, so that's interesting.
No, yeah, that kind of answers my question. I wasn't sure what we wanted to do. Like, I think leaving a gift or something's a great idea, or if we wanted to have, some kind of local charity benefit from it. But I think, just because I was thinking August, that's kind of the end of the 150, so I didn't know exactly what we'd need, but I think that's
We're going to December. Yeah, we're gonna go to
I know.
That's another thing that we'll spend money on, is ice for the ice sculpture, I think, in December, I hope. If we have some left.
Yep.
Okay, so that sounds good. So we want to make a little money. So if we want to make a little money, then we're going to charge like $125.
Somewhere around there. Yeah, I wouldn't
Okay.
want it to be too much more than that.
Right, and we should have a charge for just dinner, because there's a lot of people who don't golf who might want to come just for dinner,
For sure.
right?
Yep.
Okay.
For sure.
I don't know else. Mel, did you have something to say?
No, I was just saying, you could do a lot of the tea sponsors too, as
Yeah.
well. Raffles at the dinner. I mean, you have a good chance of raising a good amount of money, and then it could lower the cost to the mayor's ball, depending on timing of when that is and everything.
Yeah,
So
Yeah.
yeah,
that was going to be
you,
September. We won't know probably, but
But I mean, if you could lower the cost, more people could come to the mayor's ball, more money the 150th puts into it,
Yeah.
or it just adds a couple more events to the mayor's ball or something like that. But
yeah.
I think we should raise some money.
The hard part about that is this is August 24th. The mayor's ball is going to be early September, so we really won't know what we have for money, until after that.
Yeah.
So I think.
Well, prior to the golf
yeah, I
tournament, usually you know how many tickets you have sold. A lot of times, 2 or 3 weeks prior to the golf tournament.
Yeah.
And of course, there's
Yeah.
a lot of last minute ones, but your sponsors by then. You can kind of gauge, there's a possibility of what you might raise.
right. How much is a tea sponsor usually?
usually you just charge like $50 for a tea
$50
sign.
for a tea? Okay.
For a tea sign, yeah.
And do we make those? Or, yeah, we have to make the T signs, right? Or
Yeah.
somebody,
Yeah.
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 Okay.
Mhm.
All right, I don't do golf. I don't know. I don't
Uh,
golf.
Michael has his hand up.
Yeah,
Mike,
Michael?
Mike Fox here.
Yep, go ahead.
Max, were you thinking possibly of like we used to do different levels of sponsorships, or do you think that's going to be too much to ask?
Yeah, I think that's kind of probably how you have to do it, you know. Like gold, silver, and you could even have, if you really wanted to do it, you could have someone, be like a dinner level sponsor.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking. And also to add on, I know Mike and I have gone back and forth a couple of times. We're probably going to have a little subcommittee on this, just because it requires a lot of, tedious work. So, if anyone's interested, I know some members at Indian Hill, specifically someone on the board is interested in helping.
There's a bunch of ladies who are interested in
Yes.
helping too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Okay.
that's just another thing that, we can do, because you could spend an hour and a half talking
Right.
about this every meeting. So,
That makes sense.
I'm going to find out what works for everybody and get going on that. I don't know what I have to do through you, the chair, the town clerk, to make sure it's like, official, or if it's just something that, because the subcommittee is more flexible.
I don't think a subcommittee has to be
Okay.
public. I don't know. Does anybody know?
I'm not
Who's-
sure
who's
either.
on? Yeah, I don't know. I'll find out. I'll send you.
Okay.
I'll send you. But
Yeah,
I don't
not
have
a
any.
big-
problem with
Not a
that.
big deal. But yeah, Michael, to answer your question, that's easy way to do it. Give them some options. You have like a $250 level, 500, 1,000, and then if you find a business that really wants to get in, you go even higher than that.
Okay, that sounds beautiful. Perfect. Okay.
Yeah, and if you're interested or think you have a person or a group that want to play, just reach out to me and we'll kind of start keeping track of that. That's something probably, a couple months before, so people can make sure they have work off or whatever, just to make sure they're available that day. So you kind of want to be a few months ahead of that. Right now it's a little early because it's March, but once we get into the spring, then
The golf clubs come out, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But plus, I'm just saying, you also want to get that date out there because everybody missed all their golf tournaments last year.
I know,
They're going to pick and choose which ones they're going to play in.
for sure.
There's about 10 of them coming out already, and you're looking at the dates going, okay, I'm going to spread this apart, especially when it's $125 to $150 a person.
Right.
A lot of them, pick which ones they can do.
So are
Right.
you sure it's August 24th, Max? Because I'll put a save the date on Facebook.
If it's that Tuesday, I think it's that Tuesday that
Okay, I don't know. I don't have a calendar with me, but all right, I'll check it out. I'll put a save the date post on there.
yes,
Okay.
24th.
August
that's a good
24th
idea.
is Tuesday.
Yeah, August 24th is the Tuesday.
Okay, so I'll put a save the date on Facebook, so that will help and that will get people reminded about that.
I got off Facebook for Lent, so I forgot about I forgot it exists. So thank you.
Okay, no problem.
Yeah,
All right.
if anyone has any more questions, just reach out to me and I'll kind of keep everyone updated.
Sounds good. Perfect. And you have an expert in your house to rely on for help. So I think he's been around the bush a few times. I think he knows how to do this. So I'm not
Yeah.
worried that you can't
Yep.
get it done. Okay. What's next on the agenda?
I think someone has their hand up still.
Oh, who's? I'm sorry.
Geraldine Eagle.
Oh, Geraldine, go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say, you're going to have a flyer, Max? A flyer for the
Yeah,
golf tournament?
I can get
Okay,
to work on that and have it ready for the next meeting for sure. I can
okay.
probably have it ready before then.
Perfect.
And one more thing to say is about the cats. You were mentioning about the list of all of the different houses going to that. And Mike Fox asked for a list of them. And I gave him that, and he did a couple of them on Facebook.
Yes,
So-
I have the list, but I was just waiting for some good weather to post it so people wouldn't forget about it. That's all. I have the list of them. But I'll put it up as soon as the weather changes, and then maybe people would be more interested in going when it's sunny out.
I have
Yep, go ahead, Kathleen.
to Max. Max, if you can get a handout, we could have it at the table on the History Day.
Yeah.
In
that's-
other
that's
words,
Great.
it can be sitting there, you know, if we have other events that have gotten a little further by now, or even a display on the table of an upcoming event. So just, and that's April 24th. So just throwing that out if you can get some kind of an ad by that. Also, Eileen, this is kind of related. At the previous meeting, I talked about going to Image Inc. and getting some, you know, like real estate signs, size banners that can be at the events, and we can use them at other going forward events. So, I mean, I think that's still going to fit in the 500, but I'm giving them
that's why I said-
back. They won't be just for that one event. So I'm just going to get one for each location, which I think is going to, and one for the table. I still have the big one. We can hang the big one from the table.
Yes, that's why I said the budget would be the motion was for the budget to be 500 for costumes and promotional materials, whatever you would need.
Yep, okay.
All right, beautiful. Okay, Indian Hill we're done with. What's next on the agenda there? Treasurer's report?
There's not much change from last month, but there's about $12,000. There's $11,925 in the account. That's not including the deposit from Give Butter. I need to link up with Mel. And also I think maybe Eileen, you have, I don't know who has the like direct debit information, but there's like a odd $25 expense from the last month. Is that something related to anything you've done, or should I call the bank?
Let me check.
Okay.
I have three, this is terrible. I have 3 green debit cards and I could have done something. stupid. I don't know.
I can imagine. I don't have a TD account, so it doesn't happen to me, but I can see it happening.
Yeah, they're all 3 the same. Just let me check, make sure I didn't do anything dumb.
Okay.
That's funny.
And
It wouldn't
I
be the
guess-
cost for the,
Go ahead,
it's
what?
not a cost. It's not a cost for the website or anything, or the,
No,
like,
that usually shows up as a debit, but it says Google Domains from, I don't know, Help Pay, and it's $12. I haven't had that since January though, so I don't know if there should be a
Okay.
February, but there was one in January.
Allison,
I'll
Yes.
check. I get a statement.
I don't think it was me, but I gave you a small, I don't even remember what I spent it on as part of the calendar stuff.
Oh yeah, that was I think I wrote you a check for that, right?
Oh, you did? Well, I'm gonna say yes, except I didn't know that if that's what you were talking about, that it was a
that's right. I
debit.
don't think I saw it go through as cash though. Have you cashed it?
This sounds terrible, but I think so.
Okay.
Seriously, I'm pretty sure I took it to the bank because I think I've been to the bank once since COVID started, and that might have been it. But I'll tell you at this point in time, I don't remember actually going there, but I'm pretty sure I did it right away, so I didn't forget.
No worries. No, this is like a direct debit from Amazon.
Okay, good. Just checking that it wasn't me.
No, you're good. And then Mel, do you want me to like text you at some point over the weekend or so? I don't know what I need. Do I need like information, or do I need to give you the debit account?
No, I just knew you're busy season, so whenever's best,
Yeah.
I can just bring it your way, you know?
Yeah.
We're not that far apart, but I didn't want to leave it in a mailbox, you know?
I appreciate that. But maybe I'll shoot you. I assume I will venture out of the house at some point this weekend. Maybe I'll shoot you.
Or just tell me, hey, I'm home and it's good time to stop by. I'm working in town all weekend, so I could swing by, or if not, I'll make my husband swing by.
For sure, I can do that. Thank you.
No worries.
Okay, beautiful. All right, next up. The parade, we still haven't heard anything about. It's kind of like last time I asked, it was a 60-40 to a go or not go. So I don't think they really know at this point.
Eileen,
Yes.
Right at the beginning, I decided to call Kenny O'Brien, and logistically would be impossible, so they're not planning.
Okay, so the parade is off. All right, so we got some extra money. We're not spending it on a parade. I don't know. I'm kind of interested about like what will happen with the extravaganza too, because I think the vaccines are going faster than they anticipated. So I don't know. I don't know if it'll be a go or not. Bill's kind of on the fence, and we don't know. So we have to wait. This month in history, Michael posted something last month, and keep it up. Keep them posted. That's good. It was kind of cute.
I'll be looking for something, I'll be looking for something, but that doesn't mean anybody else, if they have, find something that happened in March and sometime within the last 300 years, it might be interesting.
There must be something that happened. Okay, next.
I have a hand raised.
Oh, you do? Okay, go ahead, Geraldine.
Okay, I'm on the another committee, the economic development, and they're going to have a beautification. They're going to take over that aspect of it. And I let know about the 5,000 daffodils that are coming up in the spring.
Yeah, that'll be nice.
So
I hope they.
This committee is doing that, or did it. Oh, okay.
Beautiful.
That's it.
Yep. I hope they come up. I'm excited. Pretty soon they'll start showing. March probably, maybe, or something. I don't know. Okay. Do we have anything else on the agenda? I can't see. Anybody have anything else that we need to talk about tonight?
Eileen, I just wanted to, now that you said the daffodils, when I speak to, so I'm going to contact town crier person like this week to see, is there anything if she says, what else do you have coming up? Well, I can say the daffodils, but what of the things we've discussed do you feel is, I hate to say safe, or is anything on our list something? How do I answer that question? How about if I leave it at that?
We're planning to have a blood drive. That will happen. We're planning to have a mayor's ball. That will happen.
Okay.
We're planning to have
How about the food drive?
Yeah,
The food drive for the food
Okay.
bank?
All right, and let's just say, hold on, so blood drive, time to be, date to be announced, right?
Coming soon, yes.
Okay, mayor's ball in the autumn.
Early September.
Okay. Early September. Now, is that co-sponsored with Parks and Rec?
Yes.
Okay, and I'm going to say that. Does that sound acceptable?
It should be, yes.
Okay. I don't want to misspeak, but I think if there's an opportunity to promote future stuff, I think we should do it, but be accurate with P&R. Okay, food drive in the summer.
Yeah,
right, June or July.
June or July. And that's okay, who are we partnering with the town?
Yes.
Yes, it's going to be with the Human Services Department.
Okay. All right. This is a bunch of stuff. So this is cool. This will sound good.
And the golf tournament.
Exactly.
Yes.
Okay. Partnering the golf tournament. And that's a graven in stone date.
August 24.
Got it. Okay. So I'm going to say, if anybody thinks of any details that they want included when I speak to the reporter, just contact me personally. In other words, Max, if you want to say followed by, since I'm writing stuff down, but followed by a dinner at, do you mind? Why don't you send me an email with a blurb, since yours is the most fully formed event on this list? If you can give me some details that I can pass on to a reporter, I would really appreciate it. I'd rather be accurate by having it come directly from you.
Kathleen, I have a question.
Yeah.
Might sound silly, but is there a town crier anymore?
Yes, it's online, and stuff also shows up in the New Britain Herald. It's the same, it is the same reporter, but she did, I tried to for the calendar, I sent everything with plenty of time to Newington Life and got absolutely nowhere. With the town crier, I'm going to try Newington Life again, but again, I'm not counting my blessings. Whereas Erica with town crier, which is online, and New Britain Herald, she was great and she wrote something, and whatever she writes can also be then shared on Facebook.
Yeah, I just wasn't sure they were even doing the online thing anymore. I hadn't
Ah,
checked.
well,
in.
that's a good question. It could have stopped in the last couple of months, but I don't know.
Not sure. Okay. All right. Well, before you go spending all this time making something, you got to make sure you have a place. Otherwise it's.
No, I'm gonna contact her first and just say, hi, we have some events coming up. What do you want from me? So if
Yeah.
she's not there, then I won't have expended much energy.
Yes, very good. Okay. Anybody have anything else we want to say? Oh, I do. Our next month's meeting, I believe, is Holy Thursday. If that's going to be a problem and we're not going to have a quorum, I would like to know that like soon as possible so people don't hang around and we don't have enough people to meet. I don't know if people have plans to go away. You know, there's probably enough of us that are vaccinated now that we can see the blue sky out there somewhere. So if you're not going to be able to make it, please be sure to let me know, you know, in advance so that we won't have a meeting if it's not necessary. Okay. Well, meeting will be necessary. It's just we won't be able to have it if there's not a quorum. All right. Anything else? Okay. I think the next thing is adjournment, maybe. Yes. Anybody want to make a motion to adjourn?
Move to adjourn.
And a second?
I second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Alrighty. Thank you guys. Have a wonderful month and we'll see you in